Jeez, a little loud.
I didn't say anything.
I said a little loud. My eardrums are bursting. I'm going to adjust the volume a little bit. No, come on. Let's. Okay, can you hear me okay, Leroy?
Yep. Can you hear me?
I hear you just fine.
I am by myself today. No
I was
one
going to
else.
say, the attendance is a little sparse.
No one, no one's made it yet. I have this strange feeling there's a wreck up on the highway.
Well, you've also had some heavy rain recently, haven't you?
I don't know how heavy it's been, but we've definitely had some rain.
Okay.
I don't.
So you think 75 is jammed up?
Yeah, when I got here, I got here just after 4 o'clock, and as soon as I got here, I heard probably 30 or 40 sirens, police cars, ambulances, you name it. And it sounded to me like they were all going up onto the highway. So
that sounds like it might have been a police action, not a wreck.
maybe.
Usually they all pile on those where there's a bank gets robbed or something of that sort.
I don't know. I tried to find out what was going on, grab the scanner, but by the time I heard them, that was it, you know.
Uh-huh.
So I really don't know what was going on, but it sounded like they all went up onto the highway.
Well, let's hope everybody's okay.
And there was definitely, you know how ambulances sound different, fire trucks sound different.
Oh, yeah.
There was definitely fire trucks going.
I mean,
So,
they specifically have different tones or different sounds
yeah,
on the ambulances from the police cars, from fire trucks. Although here, when they dispatch an ambulance for a medical emergency of whatever type, they also dispatch one of the smaller fire trucks.
mm-hmm.
I don't know if they do that in Ohio or not, but I can tell you they do it here.
It's fairly common practice.
Because a lot of times the small fire trucks are in fact a medical emergency truck. So I don't know what the theory behind that is, but
we have usually there's the battalion truck, which is usually a small SUV.
Okay.
Usually a one person. And then they dispatch a regular pumper truck or a bigger truck and then the ambulance. And I think the theory is the battalion captain, in theory, should get to the scene first and access whatever they need. Plus, he has some EMT equipment on board his truck. So he can do some pre-triage kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And figure out if they need more or less equipment. And I've heard it a couple of times, you know, they'll get somewhere and the patient will be 400 pounds and, you know, 5 guys may not be enough to deal with that. So, he'll have another truck come, you know. But, yeah, I think the theory is one of the smaller trucks can get there first and assess the situation and, you know, either start or at least direct when the ambulance actually gets there.
Yeah.
At least
So,
that's my take on how I hear it on the scanner anyway.
well, in the old days, and I'm talking about the real old days when I lived in New Jersey, we lived, it was a development with regular houses and so forth and so on, but we lived, it was in a rural area. So you had a development sitting in the middle of a bunch of cow fields, so to speak. And those were all the fire and so forth were all volunteer. And I occasionally would, I was in JCs and we would occasionally volunteer, so to speak. And it's not something that I would want to do on a regular basis. Some car accidents are real meat grinders, and you have to have a pretty strong stomach to
Yeah, I could see that I you know, we had that shooting in the apartment complex. And I
oh,
know,
the one you're in now?
yeah, that was last year,
Really?
maybe a year and a half. And I know the fire department, I think the cops probably did too, but I know the fire department, they all went to they were all offered some sort of therapy.
Oh yeah, counseling therapy.
Yeah. Cause that was not that one was not good. Oh, it's Jim. Jim's here.
From the parking lot, the I-75 parking lot.
I figured I-75 was a parking lot.
So how you doing, Jim?
Okay,
So
I'm mad at Google Maps right now. That's ridiculous.
did Google send you on a wild goose chase?
Yes, they did. They can't find an alternate route easily.
So
Well,
75 was,
I-75 is your quickest way here, okay,
Except that it's not, because there's a huge wreck up there.
exactly. Except that it's a parking lot.
I told Art when I got here a little bit after 4, I had heard 15, 20 sirens just hauling butt up to the highway. I knew something had gone on.
was
And when you
75
showed up at 5
completely,
o'clock,
was 75 completely closed down and they directed you around it, or what?
Yeah, above Tylersville, it was a parking lot, and I managed to squeak off and managed to get down to Cincinnati Dayton. And the quickest way to Midpoint Library is I-75. Yeah, okay. And it couldn't say anything else, and I couldn't figure out how to change that to go around it. I tried to drag it off, but it ignored me. What a good time to head by.
please get off the highway. Nope, get back on the highway.
So it was an actual accident on the highway. It wasn't some kind of police accident or whatever.
It was, I didn't see, I saw the police up at the intersection, but you get off at a quarter mile above on a side road, so I didn't see what it was.
And unfortunately, by the time I turned the scanner on, it was too late. I have no idea what was happening. I should just leave the scanner on the whole time, but it uses bandwidth. I don't necessarily need to use my bandwidth.
Hmm? Hmm.
Is that a new laptop, Jim?
Yeah, brand new. This is one I got from Leroy.
What kind is it?
It's a Samsung, and it's got touchscreen.
Really? Oh, very
Yeah.
nice.
Leroy fixed me up.
It's slightly more modern than his old Chromebook.
Oh, okay. Doesn't have the hand crank on it, huh?
Well, its last official update was 3 months ago, 4 months ago. So it's slightly more modern than what he was using. And it's definitely more updated than what he was using.
Yeah, I got this is better than 720. I had 720 DPI on the other screen. It's a bigger screen, but lower resolution.
Yeah,
And you can tell.
yeah, it's a nice laptop or a nice Chromebook.
Mhm.
I'm kind of
this is a-
upset with Google that perfectly good, serviceable machines like that, there really isn't anything wrong with that machine, and they stop supporting it. So,
Well,
and they make it almost impossible to install anything else on it. That's how Jim ended up with it, because I couldn't get it to take a version of Linux.
really?
Yep.
So it is running Windows or
Chrome OS.
Chrome? Chrome
It's a
OS.
Chromebook.
And its biggest problem is it's ARM based instead of Intel based.
Oh, okay.
That's not necessarily a bad thing for a Chromebook, but makes it almost impossible to install anything else on it.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to find an OS that's specifically targeted at ARM.
Yeah. Well, not just ARM. That specific
Yeah, that release of ARM, yeah.
That specific ARM, yes. And I did find a couple, but none of them were any good. And they were all kind of beta-y and buggy. And I just said, no, I'm not dealing with this.
I can give this a Jim.
I could give this to Jim.
And he both of us would be happy.
And Jim will be tickled pink because he got a new laptop.
Yeah, both of us happy, yeah.
Now Jim's finding out the rest of the story.
Yeah, I like it. It's small, and that's my main reason for liking it. It's small.
It's small. It's not a bad Chromebook.
No, it's not.
So what is it, like a 10-inch or 12-inch laptop?
It's about 12, yeah. 11.6.
I would say it's 10 to 12, something like that.
This meeting is being recorded.
Okay.
I gotta turn my audio off.
I think we knew that. So,
You guys are seeing some cold weather out there now.
our weather is interesting. It's supposed to be up in the 60s next week.
Well, last week, I know that there was a couple of nights in Milford where it got down below 20. It got down to about 17, something like that.
Yeah.
Of course, I keep a pretty close eye on that because, you know, the house is subject to the usual thermodynamic constraints, so to speak. In other words, I don't want the pipes to burst.
I understand. Yeah, it got cold a couple of nights, but it really, it wasn't bad. And when you were in the sunlight, it's nice and warm. It's just
Yeah,
when the
but if
sun
you get
goes down.
at that temperature, if you get a little breeze, it goes right through you.
Your external camera not working, Jim?
It didn't pick it up for some reason. I was a little late plugging it in, I guess.
Well, now the camera I'm seeing has got to be straight above the screen of the laptop.
Yeah, we're seeing Jim.
Yeah.
Okay,
Is this a short session, Jim?
no, the short sessions are over from henceforth until we run into another issue. We're good to January and February. We're good.
Oh, okay.
Schedule as proposed. We haven't bumped our head since last time.
What was the other group? Was it the sewing and knitting group again, or?
We didn't see, the last one we had the conflict, oh yeah, it was the, it's the book club.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, these are people that had been meeting here for 10 years.
That's as long as we've been,
Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah.
these are old librarians, previous librarian, people who work here.
I did not know that.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
So it was a book club specifically for librarians. That's interesting.
yeah, I think they're interesting in that they don't talk about a specific book. They're talking about book topics.
Oh.
Hmm.
So I said, you got any, I was interested, I need some good mysteries to read. Well, I got a good book. Lexington is the name of it. And it's about a horse.
Okay.
And it's about a horse that was very popular in the 1840s.
Oh, really?
Pre-Civil War out of Kentucky, surprisingly enough. It's a pretty good read. It's interesting.
Did you put it on the list this week? I didn't get to the.
No, I haven't put it on there yet. I haven't been.
Go ahead.
I think there was one on the. I did change the list. I think I put another one on there. My mouse is not working either, man.
Jim's just.
So it has a mouse, not a touchpad?
I'm using the touchpad. I hate the touchpad, but I'll force to use it. I have to submit. You will submit. Resistance is futile.
I don't care for touchpads either, but they seem to be de rigueur, so to speak, for laptops.
They're definitely something that you have to get used to.
I did get in the news this week. We mentioned sodium batteries last week, and there's another article on sodium batteries. It says, are sodium ion batteries dead on arrival? And the answer is yes and no. This guy,
that's
yeah, to be concise.
We're adding a little politics into technology.
Yeah, I could make.
Well, if you do this, then yes, and if you do this, then probably not.
The power density is not as good, so you're not going to go as far.
Yeah,
but that's not good for American audience, they said, but the European audience would be more interested.
well, they drive shorter distance.
Yeah, they're in the cities typically. And you don't drive to the cities, like in London, you don't drive to London.
Well,
Yeah.
that was my understanding about how sodium batteries worked or salt batteries. The power density is, it's an okay idea, but the power density is way out of whack.
It's much lower, so you can use them and they're cheaper, but you're not gonna get the distance. Yeah,
Yeah.
if you want the long distance, that's not what they're for.
Yeah. So
Okay.
that was my understanding of how they work.
Yeah. And I found a nice article on LoRa. It gave an explanation that was simple enough for me.
Oh,
And then it goes on and goes to devices and goes crazy. But the explanation at the front of it, the first 15 minutes was great.
okay.
And then they wandered off. And now books, we're talking about books. Fearless, I don't know if that was on the last time or not. But I'll put Lexington in there. Cause Lexington is south of us in Kentucky.
Yeah.
Pretty good read.
Wow.
And the pre-Civil War information was, they did a horse race in Louisiana near New Orleans, and it was interesting to see what pre-Civil War United States was.
Well, speaking of Laura, kind of speaking of, that's what I got 2 little Laura terminals. And we'll wait a few more minutes, but see if Vicente shows up. He did a big robot project, so
Oh,
yeah, I don't know if he's bringing it in or not.
don't know if he can get here or not.
Yeah, that might be a problem. And I know Steve.
Well, is he north of midpoint or is he south of midpoint?
I think he lives over in your neck of the woods.
He's over
My
in
neck of
Lebanon
the-
now.
Is he?
Yeah, he's near Lebanon.
Is he near Lebanon?
Yeah, that's
Right.
what he was leading us to believe. Of course, could be throwing us off.
Well, he moved a couple of years ago, I think, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, I thought he lived closer to you and Steve and,
Well, we're quite a ways south.
yeah, he might be able to make it.
Well, the point is, I believe he's over off 71, not off 75.
That's what I thought. But I'm not real sure. I'm not real sure where he lives. It's a secret. It's super secret.
Oh, yeah?
I don't know.
Okay.
So we're good through February.
And Steve will be running the meeting on the 14th. Because I have to go see a play that the grandkids are in.
Well, I thought maybe you'd gotten called up in the reserves or something.
No. Think I'm
Yeah.
too old for that. I've definitely been out of the service long enough that I don't have to worry about it.
Well, depends on how bad the conflict gets.
I'm telling you, if they call me back, they're pretty desperate. They have run out of everybody else in the world.
Hey, Leroy, we got this sub sitting down in the Ohio River here.
Hey, we need a radar tech. I haven't worked on radar in, I don't know, 30 years? Okay, fine, I'll go work on radar. I might remember that.
Well, you'd probably have to get completely retrained at this point because it's probably all new stuff.
I don't suppose if I had the books, it probably wouldn't be hard to pick some of that back up. I mean, it's all base stuff stuff, but I know Doppler's changed and frequencies have changed and probably calculations and wavelengths and all kinds of stuff has probably changed. Speed of the machine. I would imagine the servo synchro part of it probably still works pretty much the same way. And the high voltage probably works pretty much the same way. Don't touch that. Don't touch it.
Don't even get close to it.
Yeah, it's pretty much the the high voltage. You don't want to touch that. Okay, I won't touch it. Weird.
Now my touchpad won't work. I killed that. I killed it. I wanted to reboot anyway. Oh, yeah, I think it may have. No, it came back. Okay, it's back.
Tim's killing that laptop.
I beat it up. I'm bad, you know, hey, I do things, I'm surprised these things work. I'm amazed that they work. But the print screen on the Moto G7 Power is, they told me, and it was right, you hit down volume and the power button
At the same time.
at the same time for a second. You must say that.
Okay.
If you don't push it for a second, you're gonna get the power off button, okay, or the volume button.
Okay.
But if you push both of them and hold them down for a second, it does work. And you got options there. So it does work. The 3-finger thing, no.
I'm pretty sure I had to turn the three finger thing on
Yeah,
in gesture control or something.
I did my last one, but this one I didn't. And I don't know how to do it. I
It's,
don't know if I care now that I know the other shortcut.
it's in Motorola gestures, Motorola.
I never liked it. I used it a couple times, said this sucks, it's hard. And it's not just that easy, you gotta hold your fingers right. And, yeah,
The one thing that I still do not like about this phone is where the finger touch sensor is, the fingerprint sensor. I absolutely hate that there. I know you like them, you liked it on the
yeah, it
one,
used to be up here somewhere.
on the power button.
Is that where it was? Oh, man, that was nice. But
Yeah.
now you gotta go find it in the middle of the night, you gotta flip it over and find the back.
It's on the back on that one?
And it's,
See, I loved it when it was back there. That was perfect.
If you have a case on it, can you access it?
Yes,
yeah, they
because
have a hole in the case.
there's a hole,
Oh, okay.
so.
You have to get it, and it's the G6 and the G7 are different, so yeah, that was a learning experience. And the G7 and the G7 Power are maybe different. Okay, no, I think they are the same, but you can't use the same case.
Yeah. The case.
Yeah, well, the case business has got it knocked because I think they're in cahoots with the phone people to say, move that button a little bit to the right so this old case won't fit.
This old case won't fit. If we or make it so that if you put the case on upside down, it does wacky things to your phone.
Well, I
Yeah,
always buy a separate case because I find it's good insurance, but it annoys me that every time I change the phone, you gotta get the new case.
Well, that doesn't bother me so much. Cause I usually just buy the cheap cases off of eBay, the $10 cases. But there are certain things about this new phone that just bug me. I'm always fumbling for the power switch. It's not as intuitive. It's just sticking my finger back there. in the hole.
Have you guys had any success with working with using fingerprints for logging in?
On Linux
Yeah.
or in general?
Well, I was thinking on phones specifically.
I do use, like, for my bank and for insurance and a couple other things, I do use the fingerprint quite a bit for that stuff. And it all works just fine. It's just, I don't like where the fingerprint scanner is. To me, it's awkward. It's in an awkward spot.
But it's reasonably reliable in terms of recognize your fingerprint.
I'd say yes. I mean, it's failed a couple of times, but generally speaking, as long as the sensor's clean and as long as your finger doesn't really have a whole lot of oil on it or whatever, it works pretty well.
Oh, my bookmarks are over here. That's nice. Of course, that's, huh.
And I guess that's what everybody wants to go to, or the big three want to go to is, using your device to authenticate that you can log into a website or something by using your fingerprint
Mm-hmm.
or your Face ID or whatever. Ray says he's on an airplane getting ready to leave Chicago, and he doesn't think he'll land at CVG in time to get to the meeting.
He's coming out of O'Hara. The chances of him taking off on time are
0.
if he's coming out of Midway, it's a little easier, but coming out of O'Hara,
Well, I was going to say he might actually be able to get to Cincinnati, but he's definitely not going to get to the meeting.
yeah.
I don't know.
Is this cast tab? Is that Chromecast or is that cast?
I have no idea.
You never tried that? Oh, okay.
It's probably casting to Chromecast.
I figured it'd be Chromecast, but it doesn't say Chromecast. It says cast. Okay.
Probably trying to cast something to a Chromecast TV, which we no longer have, sadly. I did bring the projector
Oh,
that I talked about last week, and
Oh, there's Ray.
speaking of Ray, who is sitting in Chicago and not talking. Ray's trying to figure out the Zoom client.
You must still be on the tarmac.
Hasn't got on the plane yet.
That's possible too.
well, they do allow Wi-Fi now on some of the flights. They do have.
Yeah, you have to pay for it, but they do have it.
Oh,
It's just another little side charge along with your $100 a bag for your luggage and the no longer free snacks. Oh, there's Steve.
Hello.
What was that?
Sorry. Hello.
Hey, Steve.
That's almost Steve.
it was Steve
No.
Light.
It was Steve
I
Light.
forgot to hook up the camera. Give me a second. So you said there's a wreck on the highway somewhere?
It was supposed to be near this exit, but it was messed up north and messed up south. It looked like, well, south, coming north wasn't bad, but going south was bad from Tylersville down. When I got to Cincinnati Dayton Road, though, it was better. It's clearing up some.
Yeah. There,
Hmm.
oh,
Oh, there he is.
there's Ray.
He's on the plane.
Oh, yeah.
Are
at
you
that.
sitting on the tarmac just waiting to take off?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Midway or O'Hara?
Chicago O'Hare.
O'Hara. Okay.
I actually wasn't expecting to see you today at all, Ray. just
Sorry,
because.
sorry.
Just because I knew you were going to be on a plane.
Well, but he's in the first class section, you see.
They got you piled in there.
Yeah, I got a free upgrade today. So, well, obviously, I only have a few minutes to say hi,
Yeah.
but we're late for something. I don't know why.
because you're in Chicago and O'Hara, and they're notorious for being late.
Is that a transfer point or was that your origin?
No, it's just a transfer layover. I'm heading towards CVG. I'll be there in about an hour. Should be.
Yeah.
Less. CVG to. Thank you. Yeah, I should be there pretty soon, but I just didn't think I'd catch the end of the meeting. So, the only thing I had to contribute was what I'd already talked to Leroy about, was the 3D printers.
I haven't mentioned it yet, but
Yeah.
it was on the list of things to mention.
Okay.
So.
Imagine most of the people in our group either already have a 3D printer or if they don't already have one, they probably don't need one. But Leroy got one anyway.
I was gonna say, when has that ever stopped us?
Yeah.
I'm back to 5 printers now.
Aiden and I put together 2 more 3D printers this past weekend. We did find the same problem. They were switched on 230 volt instead of 110.
Yeah.
But we have not powered them up yet. But just mechanically get them assembled. You know, try and do what I can to keep him interested in the whole project. So trying to keep it fun.
I mean, I went through days of hating that thing because it was set for 230 volts. Sitting there trying to figure out what it was doing. So, like I said, my guess is there is absolutely no problem at all with these printers. They were just all set for 230 and nobody could figure out how to make them work.
Well,
Do they
the
have a
voltage
have a
switch is on the
switch?
back of the printer, so
Yeah,
nobody's
but-
looking at it.
But you've seen the manual. It doesn't say anything at all about the voltage switch. And you would assume, I know, but you would assume that since they're in the United States, they would be set for 110 or 115 or whatever it is.
Whatever.
but
but
Yes.
it's done.
yes, I just have this strange feeling that they got a batch of them in from Europe and they were all set for 230 and nobody checked.
I don't know, but I did order some temperature sensors and some heaters for the hot end. I mean, if something else is wrong with them, I'm just going to turn it into parts. But I'm not
Yeah.
going to sell one if it's not working. So we're ready to turn them into parts. I got another application where I might want a NEMA 17 motor. So that's a good place for to grab a motor from it and use it.
It's with what you've got, it would be good to like make a drawing robot or all kinds of stuff. You could do all kinds of stuff that doesn't require a hot end.
Right.
So,
And you could base them out of the Arduino or Raspberry Pi or whatever.
yeah.
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 But there's enough pieces. But I look at it and I'm thinking that if all of it's working except for hot end or except for a thermocouple, some little sensor, that's fine. But if the board's bad, if the display is bad, yeah, we're gonna turn it into parts. But like I said, I don't want to sell it if it's not working completely right.
Yeah.
But at the price that we're putting it out there, it ain't free, but it's good. Oh, they just closed the door. I gotta go.
All right.
Boarding
See you
doors are
later.
closed, flight transfer doors for departure and cross-check. Please put away any large electronic devices such as computers, small and handheld devices like cell phones, tablets, and smartwatches may be used, but they must be placed in airplane mode.
I wish we could sit in first class.
Turn off all this stuff and
I wish we could sit in first class like some people.
so
Yeah.
Ray got, Ray ended up with, I think 11 or 12.
Let me in.
You are in.
I don't see me. I see you. I should see you. Oh, I do see you. Oh, okay, good.
So,
Now, why do I see me? Oh, you got to point to me. I said, why am I looking at myself? That ain't right.
so
That's torture.
Ray ended up with 11 or 12 Creality Ender 3s, version 2s. He's put them all together. He's made sure all the parts are there. Like he said, he hasn't tested them all yet. I don't think there's going to be a problem now that we've figured out that the voltage was the actual problem. The voltage switch was the actual problem.
So what is this?
He wants $100 a piece for them.
What are they? 3D printers?
Yeah, 3D printers.
Huh?
And they are technically used, but they are so used printers because nobody could figure out that they were set for the wrong voltage.
So we'd call them open box.
Yeah. So, I got one at a slightly better deal, but I also troubleshoot the stupid things. So I told him how to fix it.
Those are supposed to be pretty good ones too, aren't they?
Once you get everything set and aligned, yes, it makes wonderful prints. There are a couple of things I don't like about it. Mainly I don't like how you feed the filament into it. It's behind and down, and it rests, the filament rests against the lead screw, which I just do not like how that is. And its only other semi-issue is it's only got one lead screw. Most of the open frames have two. So, which
Does it
isn't
have
a
a-
big deal.
Does it
It
have
is-
a cable across to keep it from bouncing?
Yes, it's actually very stable. The way they fixed it, the way they've got it set up, it's actually very stable. It's surprisingly more stable than I thought it would be. But It's just one of those things, I'm so used to having 2 lead screws that when I first got it, I was like, oh, this is different. The bed is incredibly easy to level. And they do sell the auto level kits for it. Which make the leveling even more brainless. So, it comes with the large thumb wheels already. So, you know, you don't have to fiddle around with those small thumb wheels to level the bed. Makes it really, really nice. There are definitely some positives to it. But I also, the firmware that's on mine, there's no direct way inside the firmware to load the filament. You have to heat the whole entire thing up to do it, which I found to be kind of weird. And I think that's my biggest issue with it is how it handles the filament, where the filament actually is. But there are some upgrades, so I can move the filament stepper motor up above onto the carriage and make some changes. So, and I may end up doing that because I really don't like how it loads filament.
So these are hardware, not software upgrades.
Yes. Yes.
And there's a lot of aftermarket parts for that thing too,
Oh yeah.
like a laser and ruby extruder tips.
The Creality Ender 3s are very modifiable, extremely modifiable. There's even like third-party firmware for it that fix some of the issues that, you know, like actually having a heater just for the hot end, not having to heat the whole thing up.
Alright.
I mean, it's a very modifiable printer for $100.
A lot of accidents.
You need another 3D printer, right?
Huh? I need.
Yeah, 3D printer. Ray's got 3D printers for $100.
How?
Ray,
3D printer.
a 3D printer, $100.
No, thank you.
Oh,
I have to.
no, thank you. He's gonna turn down a $100 3D printer.
120 in Micro Center. They have a lot of offers and stuff. I bring coffee. Jim,
Oh, thank you. Good, yeah. Here, how's the traffic on 75?
a lot of traffic. But since I go into the 275, it's traffic all along. I have to get out in Micro Center and take a route to the north
Oh, okay.
to find a
Back road,
yeah. So you already talk about the LoRa.
No, I've been waiting for you.
We need to leave this room at 6:30? No.
No,
Nope,
Seven.
that's over.
Okay,
That's over. We're good till February.
okay. We can bring coffee and we'll stay until tomorrow.
Yeah.
me first.
It's just for decoration.
I'm more interested in.
You want one of this?
Yeah, I'll take one.
Just wait. Pay for you.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
I like those things.
Oh, it's nice. It's coffee
Thank you. So
in a pill.
as we all open our coffee pills.
I'll have to do with a virtual one, I guess. Yep.
So it's a little blurry. Let's see if that one's better. No, not really. This is part of the text chat that actually came with the M5 stack card computer. And I modified it to work with the LoRa, the external LoRa serial device. So if I type a message here, it
This is
should,
the CPU of all the
Mhm.
board, this thing?
this thing is, sometimes it's a little picky. I don't really know why. There it goes. So I'll type in a message here. And in a second, Vicente could read the message.
Okay.
So I type that in, and you should see a message pop up.
Well, I can't, too small in the letter.
Is it too small? It says-
How you,
Yep, it says, "Hi, how are you?"
hi, how you?
Yeah. Yeah, I forgot the R. It's all right.
Where's the space?
Yeah, it's that. And he's typing something in. And it should pop up on my screen.
So you
Where
can
are the,
put
You
some
hit the
nice
OK
cherry
button. Hit the OK
key
button.
switches in there.
how you?
Do what, Steve?
Can you put some nice cherry key switches in there?
Maybe.
So you could take
It
that
says-
home and send it to him and see if he gets it.
It says I'm fine. So that was the message he sent to me.
How I choose capital letters?
You see where the blue AA is?
Okay. Because first,
I think you have to hold it. Hold the,
you
Oh,
have
it's
any
toggle.
options, no?
well,
Holding.
Yep.
so the card computer from M5 Stack is $29. These LoRa modules were $17. And they are technically LoRaWAN modules that can do, and I'm okay. That can do peer-to-peer. And it actually took a while to figure out, because I had to go into like the library to figure out what was actually going on. When it transmits, it doesn't go back into receive mode. And so, of course, when I tried to get it to go into receive mode, it was doing it too fast. So it was going into receive mode as it was trying to transmit, and that wasn't working. So I had to put a delay on the transmit. And
I will, can I share?
should be able to.
Share what? Share screen? Screen.
Why would not there be walkie-talkies with LoRa on
LoRa is still very, very slow.
it? Okay,
So I have seen someone try to compress audio and digitize it and send it.
Too slow.
Yeah, it just seems like.
I thought some specs that said like 50 kilohertz or something like that. I'd say you can do voice on that easy. But it's still, it must be slower than that, particularly at distance.
It depends on, there's like 20 or 30 different parameters that you can modify. Cause if you want it to go really long, or if you want it to go medium long, or in between long, or not long at all. See, you can make a really, really large message, but that large message isn't going to go, you know, the 7 miles or whatever they say. But a real short message could go 7 miles.
Mm.
Potentially go 7 miles.
We saw you there for a second, Vicente.
Yeah, I
Yep, we did.
there's your phone. Oh, much better.
Oh, yeah.
That's a nice resolution.
I just sent him a message and it just popped up.
Now he's doing that from his phone, sharing his screen from his
Mhm.
phone. That
Yeah.
just cracks me up that they can do that. That's amazing. Those Chinese are amazing.
Oh, and I spelled that all wrong, but we are here. Actually, I spelled it correctly. It got it wrong. Four.
Okay,
I wonder what happened. Why it,
by something, I hold the,
yeah, but I wonder why it got the. Anyway, for a long time, I was sitting there beating my head against the wall because I couldn't figure out why it was, once I transmitted, it was done. I couldn't get it to do anything else. And it turns out that it's built like that in the library. So I set a flag that when the transmitter happens and it waits 2 seconds, and then it'll turn the receive back on. So figured out a little bit. Now I want to add a buzzer, so it has a buzzer built into it. And it has an SD card, so I want to be able to add a buzzer when I get a message. It'll go beep, and maybe save the messages to the SD card. I'm thinking about maybe making an indent or something so that you know, because if you look, you can't tell
Yeah.
who sent or who.
a different symbol to indicate that's going out, coming, you know.
Or
I thought what you
or a
received
different
was in
color.
italics.
And it's all italics.
Oh, okay.
But maybe a different color, or
I don't use the front camera, but I don't know, I can change the camera.
the font is pretty small and the screen's pretty small, so I think I gotta be careful about how much stuff I add to it. But I think changing the color would be easy enough to do. But this is kind of a mesh together of the demo for the LoRa board and the demo for the card computer. And surprisingly enough, it works.
See how to change the camera for the meeting.
I don't either. I don't like the Zoom client on the phone. It seems really picky about stuff. You know, for the one time I used it a couple weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, I couldn't hear anybody. I could see people, I just couldn't hear them until I'm not even sure what I did. But I think, because this is a two-way kind of deal, I'm going to go to the back wall and I'm going to text you from the back wall and you're going to text me and see if I actually,
Okay. Seems like we've done this before.
it does seem like I've done something like.
Vicente,
Yeah, we
don't
did.
text back and see how long it takes.
I can send you a number every 5 seconds, and you check when you lose it. And go and come back.
I'm kind of not expecting to lose it, but yeah.
Okay.
So what's the LoRa frequency? That's about 800 megahertz, something like that.
US is 900, but 433 is the European, and so I don't know what he's using. 912, and then European's 433, and we see a lot of 433 stuff floating around, but I don't know what he used. Yeah, that tutorial in the newsletter is really great. I mean, it, for stupid people like me, it take about 5 minutes and I'm done. What they're doing, it appears, is they're not sending like CW Morse code. It's a you send a dot and it's a sinusoidal wave. Well, it's not. They use a ping. They call it a ping or a chirp. They use a chirp. It's going to be up. It's going to be down, but it's not going to be a standard signal. And then what they do is they ignore anything that's 100% during the duration, and that gets rid of all the electrical noise. It has to chirp for them to pay attention to it.
Sharing the camera now. I don't know how to share the camera. Jill,
We're looking at you, so it's going through a camera. Or is that the other camera? That camera.
you never, did you lose any number? No,
I got it all the way up to 18.
no,
Did you get where I said that?
no, this is the last one. It's okay. I was trying to share the screen with other people, but I
It
couldn't.
stopped. It stopped doing stuff. I went to the very far corner And then I went down to the children's department. And you got the children's department. And I saw where you said okay to the far corner and behind the bookcases. So I think it was working. I don't
What's the frequency that one uses?
know. This one's 915.
Okay, 915. Hard ask.
Yep,
Yeah, it's
915.
He's using the American frequency. I'm surprised. You bought them, so might as well get the American frequencies, huh?
so. I actually had this working with a 433 megahertz chip.
That's what I guess.
And I could not get past maybe a half mile from the house, not even a half mile from the house.
Hmm.
But the 915, when we were playing with 915 years ago,
Yeah,
it seemed to be a lot better, a lot, you know. Of course, I'm going to need to put a better antenna on it. I turned it off. I turned them off, but so I went with the 915 just because it seemed like it was more robust anyway. The 433 I thought would be fine because, you know,
lower frequency, you think it'd go through stuff.
yeah.
Is it possible when you were testing before, you were near a repeater or something?
Excuse me,
A repeater,
a repeater, what?
like a ham radio repeater.
For
Not ham
for-
radio, but for
430
LoRaWAN or
433.
whatever.
I don't know.
He's asking when he was testing previously,
Oh,
years ago, what was he near
no, Laura,
Ham.
when we were playing with this years ago, Laura was still fairly new. I don't even know if anybody else was really playing with it.
Yeah, I remember when it was hard to find the frequency
Yeah,
to use in USA.
and yeah,
The legal one. no?
it was hard to find the legal Laura
All-
boards,
mhm.
and they were expensive as all get
Yeah,
out.
very.
Yeah.
I have a couple and I pay like $20 for each or something. To a couple of boards.
These were 17 apiece, but they're also special board.
Yeah.
Lower boards are down to like, you know, $8 or $9.
Now, there are ESP 32 boards with LoRa
Yeah,
and displays
yeah,
for like
30
$11 or
bucks.
something.
yeah. But none of that was around when we were playing with it. It was an Arduino shield, and that shield, I got those things when MCM shut down, and I got them cheap because MCM was shutting down. Otherwise, I wouldn't have bought them because they were expensive. But you know, Laura's taken off, and many
Why is this so heavy? What is all the size for? It's battery.
I haven't taken it apart, but I'm guessing it's battery.
Because the keyboard
Yeah.
must be
Very thin.
the screen also, and all the controller is just this.
I'm guessing it's battery. Maybe I need to take it apart.
So you have a microphone here
Yeah,
and a speaker here.
yeah.
An S3 stamp. Wow. This is the real deal, the stamp, right?
Yeah.
It comes with the stamp or you need to?
No, it comes with the stamp, $29. Comes with everything you. It comes with an ESP Now
I don't
demo.
like the keys are hard to press.
Well, when you look at some of the alternatives,
And the screen is too small for me.
the screen's too small.
Well, you can change the font, but
I will agree, the screen is too small. I will 100% agree with that.
We want a 55-inch screen.
But when you look at some of the alternatives, like Lily Go makes it's got a nicer keyboard on it, and it's a little bit bigger, but it's $55.
Mhm.
I mean, and that's without the LoRa boards. You still need to add LoRa boards to it. So
Maybe you have empty space to put the LoRa board inside
yeah, see that's
and bend the antenna.
I don't understand why M5 Stack didn't include a LoRa board in this. I mean, they could have, even if they had to make it a little bit thicker, they could have included a LoRa board in that. Did you notice that there's a switch here? So you can use this as 5-volt in or 5-volt out. Yeah, I'm not real sure why you'd want to do that either, but
Well, you want to put this in a system that you need to operate always with external power or something, in a wall or whatever.
yeah, but I don't know why you wouldn't just plug into
And you have the Wi-Fi, the antenna
Yeah.
connected inside.
It's on the stamp.
The stand has the antenna. The metal one, the 3D metal one.
Yep. Just imagine all the neat things you can do with
How
that.
much is for a stamp alone? The stamp?
I want to say it was like $8.
Stamp S3.
Let me see.
You have nothing, just pins, right?
Yeah. Stamp S3 is $7.50.
How much? Okay. Well, and the antenna, I like.
Without
I like the size.
the I think you can get a version of it that's castellated and a version of it that has pins. But it's yeah. And it's inside of that little package with a sticker on it. We're looking at the actual controller.
This is the controller.
The actual controller that's in that.
This thing here.
And there's the controller is $7.50. So the whole thing for $29. I mean,
Wow.
how can you really question what they're doing?
And the design is solid, right? Very solid.
Yeah.
You can use it in a Lego.
Yep, it's got Lego holes on the backside. In fact, I am going to redesign this print that I printed to actually take advantage of the Lego holes, because it's just a screw hole print, but I'm going to redesign it to take advantage of the screw hole or the Lego hole.
What is this
Oh,
table here?
Steve, would you like to explain what the table is?
See,
Steve figured it out. I had
forgot
To, you forgot.
it's the row and column for the key switches.
It's
okay,
it's
the matrix of the switch, okay.
because I didn't know what it was either. I was like, I don't know.
Yeah, the pins. The array of the pins, and
Yeah.
but you don't know which is which.
No.
Pin. There is no
No.
indication.
No. Their library for this device handles all that. You don't need to worry about it. I mean,
It-
unless you want to do some really crafty stuff.
I think it does
yourself.
have the pin numbers on it for the matrix.
It does have the pin numbers.
You can read the battery voltage in this resistor network.
Oh, I did not
In
see
the
that.
pin, in the pin G10,
Ground.
G10.
G10, yeah. I need to do that. I need to see
Analog-
what the
analog
voltage
input.
is. Okay. The stamp 3 or the ESP32S3 has a bunch of IO on it. And it has some dedicated IO for camera ports and all kinds of stuff. So
You have a speaker in the what?
yeah, it's got one of the biggest design flaws from any M5 stack. It's got an actual physical on and off switch, which has always driven me crazy about some of the M5 stack stuff. You can't turn it off. Even when it's off, it's still on. This one you can actually turn off.
So you have these 3 pins connected with the multiplexer, 138, the multiplexer
Mm-hmm.
to produce these lines,
The matrix, yeah.
Mhm. In the rows of the matrix. And the speaker, I don't understand the speaker.
I think they've got it on its own amplifier or something.
NS. What? And the microphone?
The microphone is. Where is the microphone? I don't see it. Button is G0. The infrared is G44. I don't see the microphone. Oh, the microphone is on the front. Its data is G46 and its clock is
Okay.
G43.
It's an I2S microphone. Mm. And the speaker is also an I2S speaker.
Yes,
That and clock, right?
data and clock, yes. Looks like it.
Mm.
I don't know, like I said,
For
the library,
Lilliput speed.
the library for this thing is actually really, really good. So you just invoke what you need to use and use it.
They need to scale this double size.
But if it's bigger, it's going to cost more money. I know it's tiny. But
I was
this has
looking
been,
for this case in soft, but they don't exist. You need to make custom keys because this one is like 300 grams, and you need 100 grams of pressure to feel like a key
yeah,
instead of
a button.
a button.
Yeah. This this has been, ever since I was introduced to Laura, this has been what I've wanted to do, is make Laura communicator.
I don't know why they don't make custom switches, because you can ask for 5,000 and they made your switch as you wish. And the color of the key also as you wish.
I don't know. They make, it probably came down to money. It probably came down to wanting to keep the cost at around the $30 level. You know, the M5 stack dial, you know, it's $35 and it's got all kinds of stuff in it, and it's based on the
But I
S3.
mean, isn't this key in 5,000 quantities, maybe $200?
I don't know.
It's a matter of the people that design it doesn't know or are involved in this kind of things. Yes.
I don't know. I don't know why they do some of the stuff that they do.
You know the Sharp computer, was the PRS something very small. Radio Shack also changed the label, and they create their own basic computer in this format.
Yeah,
But I am talking about 30 years ago or so.
like the PSC2s and PSC3s.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah,
Well, most of those devices today have problems with the display that is almost destroyed. And a guy just asked for custom displays for these things, and he's selling them for $20 in eBay.
really?
Yeah, he opened the thing and checked what was the display and order a custom display with all the pixels and all the stuff.
I've had a
In
couple of them.
small quantities.
I've had a couple of them that have had bad displays, but I think I've got 3 of them that are good. That still,
The display is okay.
I've kept them good. I've kept them in, you know, nice dry spots. Try to keep them from going bad.
I remember I was wishing one of those a lot, but
Yep.
they were expensive for me.
I have in the car, of course, Steve and Art, I'm sorry, you guys are uneligible for this right now. But I have an Epson D6155W. Well, that's probably not going. Probably not going to help. It's a HDMI projector. It's free for anybody that wants it. You need an HDMI projector? It's got 2.
I have 3 in the basement.
What? Oh, that's true. You had the Halloween thing, yeah.
This is one of those.
It has 1 HDMI. Pretty sure it's 1080p. It has 2 VGA,
720
maybe.
pixel resolution.
Maybe. It's a decent. And I have the remote.
Wow.
And
I like the remote.
Yeah. And I replaced the bulb not too long ago, so it's probably got 4 or 5 hours of time on the bulb.
This guy also came with a remote.
So does your projectors have a used bulb too?
I
Incandescent?
use
Does your projectors
have what?
have a incandescent bulb? A tube bulb? A bulb, it's not LED. Is it LED?
No, it's I don't know, but they are so cheap. So they real resolution, maybe 240 pixels. So they
They're
they,
low
they
res.
can project 720, but the real resolution is 1/3 of that. They are pretty bad.
That sounds like they're LED, yeah. Yeah, it'd be perfect for me, except this, I need to operate in a bright room. I might not be able to use any projection TV because I have the bay window open when I'm using mine.
I remember I had all the problems with the files, with the, I think only play MP4 or something.
So
They don't recognize
This
the
one
pen
needs-
drives, everything.
this one needs a computer. It doesn't have any of that stuff. It needs a computer.
Well, I was spending a lot of time trying to figure out how this robot was made, because it's a robot for education, and it works with the BBC microbit board and a programming environment in the web called Make
Make
block.
Make block.
So it was very difficult to figure out what are the commands to control motors, because motors are controlled by another controller in the board. Speak I2C with the microbit board. So I am using this ESP32 replacement of microbit calls mbits, and I put MicroPython on it. Okay, so first I tried to use Arduino code, because once I decode all the directions and everything about the robot, I first used the Arduino environment to control everything: LEDs, neopixels, ultrasonic distance, also check the IR transmission. I checked everything in Arduino, and then was working with the MicroPython environment and did the same thing, checking everything: motors, RGB lights, neopixels, line sensors, the bottom, couple of light sensors, a speaker. I also play several songs with the Arduino and with the MicroPython environment, and also control the motors. So I try to reproduce the same values used in the microbit maker block program, because you can see the values of the PWM signals in the blocks. You can check the number from 0 to 255 is the range of 8 bits. So I use the same values, and the robot works okay, but it's a very low speed for the motor. Is 45 of well, 45 is hexadecimal is 70 for the range 0 to 55. The value is 70. Is the speed that it works. You go a little above this speed, it can control, it loses the control. So they create a new robot, this company, like they call it the same name with plus at the end, and they change the motors for motors with a lot less speed, you know, because in this way you really can control the robot. This robot is just to make spherical movements and play with that, but you cannot just try to do something with it, move from one place to another. I already have the new motors. I bought them I found the box. You remember MCM, when they closed? They were selling micro metal motors, the little ones. And they were very cheap. So I bought a lot of different speeds, and all of them are 6 volts, but they have all kind of year of reductions.
Mhm.
So I will change the models to make further experiments, but now I can show it with a MicroPython program running the same program that they have as an example of their stuff. So you can, I create a base, a holder for programming, because the problem is if you are programming the robot and you have the last program running, it try to move while are you connected with the cable. So I create a stand to put the
Yeah.
robot in the air and let it run and whatever. So this is the program. Look, the control is very
Kind of.
That's good.
Yeah.
Another thing I was working on, I show you the picture, is use the ESP32 cam, the tiny cam, to
Yeah.
use it as a sensor
Yes,
for the line, a line sensor.
Well,
I'm curious about that. It got off the.
Let me show.
Apparently the ESP32S3 is more than capable of doing object
What the camera
recognition and
is
stuff.
looking at, and I create this program that changed the image to black and white, high contrast to see the line. And then I estimate the center of the line with different points. The idea is the robot try to follow the last point, try to reach the last point. This imitates the robots that has the sensors very far from the control wheel.
boy, that I have to think about that.
And in this way, you can go very fast. You can look forward instead of looking down.
Oh, yeah, I see.
You have more chance to control your direction.
Yeah,
Because if you are looking down, any movement is
you can use,
a lot of variation in your direction.
yeah, and you're always behind.
Mhm.
But
What-
you can use that in a feed-forward circuit, a PID feed-forward. Yeah, that'd be great. That's very technical stuff.
I will try to use the camera over this robot.
Yeah, that would be,
Send them the points.
What are the LEDs trying to show?
Now, this is I didn't control. I am not controlling the.
You're not doing anything with the LEDs?
No, it's-
They're just on.
so they are random.
Random.
so you can set it up PID feed forward and tune that circuit. That would be nasty. That would be a little bit kinky. You're a kinky guy. I can see you kinky guy.
I will try to do that.
Yeah, that's nasty.
Look, the different.
Yeah,
They
you're
don't have a stable
inside
state.
inside the program, you're just not turning them off.
You can do that, but
Yeah.
I didn't use the NeoPixel library in this example. The microbit doesn't have this problem because they use a matrix
Mhm.
and they actively control the LEDs. But these are NeoPixel like each one have a turn on status. You need to reset them by software.
Yeah.
Each time it's
Oh,
different.
they retain a status or something?
No, it's random
It's
colors.
It's random noise. It's noise when you first turn it on. It's noise on the data line.
Now we are using 70 as the speed of the motor, each motor on off. The motors can run to, look,
Yeah,
the motors can run to 255, the maximum speed. But if you go a little lower, there is no enough power to move the motor also. So you are in a compromise. You go to 50, from 70 to 50. The motor, one motor runs, the other down. It says. I
So
was
these are DC motors.
DC motors, yeah, with gearbox.
Yeah.
Well, the idea is to go
That changing your gearbox,
there.
you get whatever you want out of it. Yeah.
But then the problem will be the sensors. Also, the sensors are
they're
close.
pretty high too.
The sensors, they're encoders?
no, are just on-off sensors, infrared, white, black and
Oh,
white sensors.
yeah.
Two of them here. You see,
And they're pretty high up.
but the fast followers robots use an array of sensors.
Yeah.
5,
I was
7,
gonna say
9.
two is
And
cruise.
they have like
It does great for just
eight
2 sensors.
inches
Yeah,
behind.
that's great for just 2 sensors.
Mhm.
Yeah, I would think that 3 would be the minimal.
But you get a video there, and oh my God. That would be cat's meow. You got off again? You got off the track again?
I don't understand this camera now.
Yeah.
Now it has,
It now has a mind of its own.
yeah. Enjoy the show.
Figure it out there, robot. Get back on your trail.
This is the cheapest.
That's
robot,
really hauling.
Microbit.
Do what, Art?
I said, that's really hauling.
That's too fast.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It can't keep on the,
so, some of those corners are,
He gets his other motors on there and it'll be able to follow anything, man. And you get the video camera on there, like God. And
Well,
then that
maybe
generator.
if the track is double size, it won't have a problem with that. It will also, it'll be more very.
And then, and then the next thing is you go on with the X and with the video
Yeah,
camera. Yeah,
And the white.
Oh,
the
yeah.
Side, right or left. I was
Yeah.
thinking of that.
oh my God, you'd be,
And
you'd be,
you need to program, okay, the next bifurcation, go to the right or go to the left.
Yeah.
And program a path in a very intricate track.
and then you build a matrix. And figure out the shortest path.
Okay.
We'll go one step at a time. But that, being two photo sensors, that's excellent, that's excellent, and ad hoc, photo gearing, yeah, that's good. That's good.
I'm thinking about taking some IR sensors and instead of pointing them down like that, pointing them straight up and using like an IR, like a remote
Mhm.
and pulling it along. Oh,
With the technology that you know and And what you do, you know, there should be an application that you should be able to jump in and build something that someone would use. I mean, it's just a real application. I'm sorry. With the technology.
Well,
that
I spent 35 years making real applications.
you- No,
No.
yeah. No, not so much.
No, I was thinking on to finish my project about location. Make a robot to do stuff in the yard,
Yeah,
whatever. Overseeing or cleaning leaves or mowing, whatever.
yeah, mowing,
I-
they're cracking the mowing nut, I understand.
That's
Another
the
thing
controller.
I was doing when I was manipulating the gray level image, I made an experiment creating a optical flow sensor. You know, analyzing the image and calculating the direction of the movement of the image. You can estimate your movement of the camera.
Oh, okay.
So I made an experiment with that also, and it works pretty well. Also. I was planning to bring the computer, the laptop, maybe the next time and show the line following algorithm and show the optical flow algorithm also.
Oh, okay.
It's based in a paper. You need to pay like $35 to buy the paper to see all the equations of the optical flow computation.
Mhm.
But I really didn't do that. I found a guy that 12 years ago used this paper to create the function. So I analyzed the function and compact it to put in the Arduino IDE, and it works pretty well.
There's a mic on board?
This is 4 op amps
Uh-huh.
used for, one of them is used for, no, 2 of them are used for the sensors, the
Okay,
line sensors.
okay.
Another one is used for the microphone. Is there a microphone?
Says FM and mic.
No, let me check.
Oh, it says not connected though.
No, but
The heck is FM? When I hear FM, I think of
yes,
radio.
there is a microphone, analog microphone behind the infrared sensors.
Okay,
This,
Oh, I see.
This,
Yeah, yeah,
this microphone is connected to one of the amplifier
okay.
and then connected to the pin 1. If you want to use the pin 1, you need to remove this jumper. But the circuit only detect noise level, no the audio signal.
Oh,
Just noise level. So you can clap and you see the values of the sound moving.
yeah.
You can use clapping to control the robot, for example. I checked it also in the Arduino.
That's
Eh,
what I thought
that
they were
uploaded.
doing was
No.
a sound sensing. Come here, robot. Come here,
But
robot.
this board here. Where I was. I tried. This board has a microphone here,
Well,
but the value is analog.
no.
So I was also playing with the MicroPython environment to create a sound level sensor, just converting the sound to energy and indicate when you clap or something.
Yeah.
The same thing that the analog circuit is doing. I did it with the onboard microphone.
Mhm.
Just playing with the tools. There is a speaker here in the board the same speaker is in the robot somewhere. It's a buzzer here. But this speaker has a transistor with 100 ohms in series. And this one is a transistor with 20 ohms in series.
Okay.
So this is noisy than this one. But because they are in a different pins of the ESP32, you can change from one to the other. When are you playing something? You can use both.
The speaker is it's take an audio signal, and some of the
But this is
speakers.
on-off thing, you know, it's
Oh,
a
okay.
buzzer. It's
Oh, okay, it's a
just,
buzzer. Like,
just
okay.
frequencies.
Okay, okay,
They call speaker, but this is not a speaker.
okay, yeah, that's,
Well, maybe it's a speaker, but you need to drive it in a different way with an amplifier instead of a transistor on-off thing. I was using a program that create a music library that the program can create combinations of waves. I mean, it's polyphonic. You can play different notes simultaneously,
mhm.
and the software mix them and create the resulting wave, so you can hear complex sounds, but you cannot play them in a buzzer.
Yeah.
This board is 17 bucks.
I need to get an update. I've got like the version 1, it's not an mbit, it's something else, but it's like the version 1 does not have all the extra added.
I think the one doesn't have the speaker.
It's got I think it's got the buzzer. It doesn't have any of the other stuff, but I think.
What I like is that you have an ESP32 and all the hardware for the microbit, because there is a lot of
And it's
boards and expansion boards for experimenting for the kids, robots, and all kinds of things. So
I think the version 1 was like 98% compatible or something, and the version 2
they
is
changed
just
some
more.
things also.
Yeah.
I have both in an image. They changed from one board to another. They changed some pins.
Probably
It
to
must
make
be-
it more compatible, because there were a few things I could not get to work that worked just fine with
I
microbit,
think
but
it's
they didn't work with the.
it's related to an analog pin that microbit use for some experiments, that they use a digital pin in the ESP32, so they find out that there's a limitation, so they change the pin to an analog pin in the version 2
Yeah,
to make it compatible with more stuff.
yeah, because I've got one of the robots I've got. I cannot get the onboard NeoPixels to work with the ESP32, but I
Okay.
think it works just fine with the microbit. So
Okay.
I'm not sure what they did different, but it's a weird problem. And if I connect the NeoPixels to a different pin, it works fine. So I know it's not technically not the ESP32. It's something some pin that they're using, or somehow they've got that pin connected weird or something.
And another thing I don't like these robots. I rather like the ones that have the wheels in the middle, like a turtle.
Yeah,
So when you turn around, you stay in the same spot. The center of your robot is the center of your axis.
I wonder why they chose to make the microbit flat instead of putting it up. You know, most,
In this robot,
yeah,
no, it's different. I have another the cute boat and the other the Marquis and
mhm,
McQueen, the
McQueen.
McQueen one.
Yep.
They have this connector vertical.
If it's vertical, you can see the LED. I don't know. It's an interesting design.
I like the flatness of this.
I like the controller.
I need to change the motors next time. We have in-person meeting next week.
Yes.
I will try to change the motors. And I don't know if I will finish the camera stuff, but anyway, I will show how it's going.
Okay.
It'd be 7 o'clock. Nobody said nothing.
We're busy.
We're busy. We're doing stuff.
Yeah.
We're actually having a meeting.
Mm.
Imagine that.
We were talking about this. This is well,
Ah,
we were talking about the robot.
all right. It's 7 o'clock,
Next
guys.
week, I will change the motors.
Just update everything.
Okay.
Maybe I have another track. You remember the big track that have the Westchester name on it? The big one.
Steve's on deck for next week. I will be at a Christmas play.
Steve, did you found another Skyline Chili store or the restaurant? Or
Not-
all of them,
not nearby,
all of
but-
them closed?
Nothing nearby there, but we'll find something.
We need another option.
I got the new Shake Shack. Have you been, you know the new Shake Shack? Oh, yeah, up at,
I saw the ad in the TV.
no,
Well, there is one near us? No.
they just opened one at this mall up.
Oh, Liberty.
Yeah,
In
Liberty.
Liberty, there is one,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, my,
Liberty Mall.
Gail was saying they open, it's open, she thinks it's open.
Yeah.
I couldn't get near it, there had cops there directing
We can
traffic.
check it next week.
Yeah, you might wait a couple of
Liberty
weeks.
is in road to the Roy House.
I won't be here next week.
No, why?
Christmas play.
You have
Grandkids.
permission?
Grandkids have a Christmas play at their
Okay.
school.
Bring him here.
I'm working on trying to get out of it, but I didn't say that. Nobody heard
yeah.
that.
Yeah, no, we didn't hear nothing.
He's recorder. Oh.
All right. I'll see everybody
Take
in
care.
weeks.
We'll send the tape to his
Good
wife.
night,
yeah.
folks.
Have a good week.
Bye.